Shalom. Giving all honor, praises, and glory to Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wakakodash. Double honors to our elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone, who's teaching this one and only true doctrine of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to you Akims out on the highways and byways, pushing this doctrine and risking your life to do so. Shalom to you. And a sincere salutation to the elect of the nation of Israel, starting with the 144,000. Unto you all I say shalom. This is your brother Gabar of the GMS Orlando camp with a short spiritual rant. There's a brother on the plantation that I had maybe 3 conversations with, on the state of affairs in the world, especially here in Babylon the Great. And I believe we're the same age. I'm 61 years old. And I could remember telling him that the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, because he was sighing and crying about all the, I guess you can say, corruptions on the plantation and also in society and also the government. And I explained to him that these so-called white people are the wicked. And he was quite astonished with that. And I quoted Job 9:24 to him. And he accepted it. Right? And basically want to know why things are the way they are, why they are always fucking with us. And I told him, well, the Heavenly Father is the one that's doing that to us. And he just couldn't wrap his mind around it, that the Heavenly Father would put us in such a poor state. But he does not know that this is actually mercy. So I explained to him that we are God's chosen, the Israelites. And he was quite astonished to hear that so-called Hispanics also are brethren. A lot of our people will claim to accept the fact that they're Israelites, but then black only Israelites, okay? Being an Israelite is not a fucking color thing, all right? It's a nationality, it's a heritage, it's a seed line. And today, the Israelites look like everybody else, all nations. The book of Jeremiah, 12th chapter says that we are like unto a speckled bird to the Heavenly Father. Okay, a speckled bird is a bird of many colors. Unless Israelites, we look like all the other nations because we have been scattered among them for centuries. Okay? So therefore, you're going to have an Israelite looking like a so-called white man, so-called Japanese, Chinese, East Indians, even Africans. Yes, even Africans. We're not damn Africans. All right? That's a lie. Okay, we are Israelites. Okay, that lived in Africa for a few centuries, fleeing from the Roman persecution. Oops. So this morning I ran into this brother again on the plantation, and he's sighing and crying about what he's seen on the plantation. He's talking about the way managers are moving. It doesn't make sense. The way they're fucking with us. There's something wrong with that. And I mentioned it to him again, that this is our punishment. And he's like, why? Why? And I said, didn't I tell you this before? And I said, this is our punishment. Why? Why? He said, because we transgress against the Heavenly Father, the God of Israel. Therefore, he sent us into captivity, living under these people that you're complaining about. Okay? And I'm kind of pissed off that a grown man, okay? I was in my early 50s when I came into the truth. But I would say all my adult life, I knew there was something wrong. And I was always on the fringe of society, not totally engulfed in the cares of the world. I didn't do what everybody did, for the most part. So when I was exposed to this truth, and especially through the teaching of Great Millstone, all right, there's none better. The apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, there's none better. There's no teachers in this earth that can be compared, because everything they are teaching us and has taught us can be proven through scriptures and history and even prophecy. So he's not too old to learn. The little information that I gave him several months ago, and for him to ask me why the Heavenly Father is punishing us, it's unacceptable. I explained it to him, and today I explain it again. We transgress the laws of the Heavenly Father, and this is our punishment. Okay? Now let him know that the rulership of the so-called white man is coming to an end. But he's still asking, why? Why is he punishing us? Okay? Oh, and by the way, this brother, okay, he loved the white woman. All right? He was married to one. And every time, we're talking in the hallways, he will always look at the white women that pass by. And he admitted that he don't want nothing to do with the so-called black woman. That's understandable. But the fact that I told him that the white man is the wicked, he just gonna wrap his mind around it because he's in love with the so-called white man. But meanwhile, he's sighing and crying about the oppression that we're going through, in society and also on the plantation. Okay, there is oppression on the plantation, the way they treat us. Okay? They don't give us any credit, for what we do on the plantation. All right? We keep things going. We keep things moving. We know what to do in all circumstances. The Book of Solomon, Wisdom of Solomon 5, explain that, how, they make no accounts for our labor. All right? So he's in love with the so-called white man. That is why it's hard for him to wrap his mind around the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And he's a slow belly that does not grasp the way that he's supposed to be moving in this world. I told him about how we have to remove ourselves from Babylon the Great and rehearsing the righteous act. I said, whatever you're doing, if you're committing adultery, sleeping with another man's wife, eating pork, going to the Christian church, I told him all of that, okay, we have to remove ourselves from. So, the brother just got under my skin. Salakia, we're supposed to be more patient for them that are not learned. But man, we're talking the basics. I mean, I haven't even got into any scriptures with the brother. Just, plain talk. Plain talk. And the reason why he's not understanding is because he thinks he's a so-called black man. Yeah, so, I just want to get that off my chest because it's been bugging me all day. Why are people so dense? Okay? It's a good sign that he's sighing a little and crying a little, but will not open his mind to why. And I'm sure the next time I see him, he's going to utter the same verbiage, and I will tell him the same thing, and he might ask why. The reason why we are living under the so-called white man, that our lives hang in a balance daily, because this is a bloody and violent man, okay, that can snuff our lives out at any given moment. I'm on my way home. I can get pulled over by a so-called white cop, and my life might just end. These are all the curses that we cannot remove our necks from. And I didn't even get into that with the brother. Just simple, plain talk is hard for him to comprehend. So how would I be able to go forward talking to this brother? I'm just grateful Abanawa. Okay? Grateful that Abanawa Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai woke me up. This is mercy. This is mercy. I can't see myself believing anything else than the doctrine that our elder apostles and elder bishops and teachers and camp leaders of Great Millstone teaches. You have to be one dumb asshole to forsake this doctrine, because it can be proven biblically, historically, and prophetically. Okay? At this current time, the doctrine of Great Millstone aligns with prophecy. So the water, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Wakakwadash, Kwam Nasharala, Wa Abba Babal. Shalom.